The loss of Kianna Underwood. The intersection of Watkins Street and Pitkin Avenue in the Brownsville neighborhood of Brooklyn is a place defined by its pace. It is a transit hub, a residential artery, and on the morning of January 16, 2026, it became the final chapter of a story that began under the brightest lights of Hollywood. At approximately 6:50 a.m., as the first hints of winter dawn began to gray the New York sky, a 33-year-old woman stepped into the crosswalk. She was not a stranger to these streets. She was a daughter of this city. Her name was Kianna Underwood. The police report filed by the NYPD Highway District's Collision Investigation Squad paints a chilling picture of what happened next. A dark-colored vehicle, traveling at a high rate of speed, struck Underwood with such force that the impact was heard by residents in nearby apartment buildings. The driver of that vehicle did not tap the brakes. They did not stop to see the life they had just altered forever. Instead, they accelerated, dragging the victim for nearly 2 blocks before fleeing into the labyrinth of Brooklyn's morning traffic. When paramedics arrived, there was nothing they could do. Kianna Underwood, a woman who had once been a symbol of joy for an entire generation of children, was pronounced dead on the cold asphalt of her home borough. The news broke slowly, then all at once. For those who grew up in the mid-2000s, the name Kianna Underwood triggered a deep, dormant memory. She was the girl with the wide smile and the effortless comedic timing. She was a member of the All That cast. She was a Nickelodeon star. And now, she was gone. The making of a New York prodigy. To understand the tragedy of her end, one must understand the brilliance of her beginning. Kianna Underwood was a New York City child through and through. In a city where millions dream of seeing their name in lights, Kianna was actually doing it by the age of 7. She was part of a rare breed of triple-threat child performers who understood that the industry was not just about fame, it was about work. Her early career was defined by her voice. Before she ever appeared on camera for Nickelodeon, she was already a staple of their preschool programming. In the Nick Jr. series, Little Bill, created by Bill Cosby, Kianna voiced the character of Fuchsia Glover. For 5 years, her voice resonated in the living rooms of parents and toddlers across the country. It was a role that required nuance and a sense of wonder, qualities that Kianna possessed in abundance. But the stage was where her physicality truly shone. Kianna landed a coveted role in the first national tour of the Broadway smash hit Hairspray. Playing the role of Little Inez, she stood as a symbol of the show's core message of integration and youthful rebellion. Little Inez is the character who eventually wins the Miss Teenage Hairspray pageant, representing the triumph of talent over prejudice. Kianna took that role across the United States, performing in massive theaters to standing ovations every night. By the time she was 12 years old, she had more professional experience than many adult actors in Hollywood. The orange couch and the legacy of All That. The year 2005 marked a turning point for Nickelodeon. Their flagship sketch comedy show, All That, was entering its 10th season. The show had already birthed icons like Kenan Thompson, Kel Mitchell, and Amanda Bynes. It was essentially Saturday Night Live for the younger set. However, the show was facing a crisis of identity. Its biggest star of the new era, Jamie Lynn Spears, had just departed the cast to lead her own series, Zoe 101. The producers needed a powerhouse, someone who could jump into a fast-paced, high-pressure environment and deliver laughs immediately. Kianna Underwood was the answer. Joining the cast for season 10, she stepped onto a stage that was already legendary. She wasn't just a face in the background. She was a lead performer. She appeared in sketches that featured the return of the show's founders, acting alongside Kenan and Kel during their guest appearances. Her energy was infectious. She had a way of leaning into a character, whether it was a bizarre suburbanite or a high-energy student, that made her stand out even among a cast of highly talented children. However, season 10 would be the final season of the original run. As the show wrapped, the All That era came to an end. For Kianna, this was a crossroads. Many of her castmates moved to Los Angeles permanently, hiring agents and managers to capitalize on their Nickelodeon fame. But Kianna did something that few child stars do. She stepped away. The silence of the last 20 years. For nearly 2 decades, Kianna Underwood lived a life of profound privacy. Unlike the child stars of today who maintain constant contact with fans through Instagram and TikTok, Kianna vanished from the public record. There were no more acting credits, no R,